All right, well, good morning, everybody. If you guys can, too far. If you guys can go ahead and in the chat, if you guys can just put down like how you guys are feeling. We only have a couple days left in the semester. How was your first semester online? So if you guys could put that in the chat real quick. So again, how was your first online semester? Like I said, I'm actually going to be starting online school myself next semester. January 4th, I'll be starting the master's program to get my master's in English. So, now, Aaliyah, does that mean just in general, or does that mean just online? You want to be done? What are some things that I could do differently next semester since we are probably going to be mostly online? Coffee. Well, no, that's embarrassing, but oh well, that's fine. What could I be doing differently to help you guys? So, like, was online, what could I be doing to make this easier for you guys as far as like helping you, being more supportive? Because I always want to be supportive of you guys and make sure that you guys are successful in my class. And I know not all of you are right now, obviously. You still have a chance to because obviously your late work is going to be due tomorrow. So if you guys still have late work, I'm going to accept it all the way up till midnight tomorrow night. And that way I will be able to get all of your guys' stuff as updated as possible. So that way, hopefully you guys get the best grade possible. Anybody else? I got a few people respond to my last question. So my last question was, what could I be doing to be more supportive of you guys? Because I want to make sure that I am being supportive. I just realized that my date's wrong on this. Stuff as updated as possible, so that way hopefully you guys get the best grade possible. Sorry, my stream was going haywire. Okay, today's the 6th. There we go. All right, anybody else? Just really quick, like I said, anything that I could be doing to help you guys with your writing or anything like that. I just want to make sure that I am helping out. Okay, well, like I said, I am here for you guys. We still got a couple days left, so if you do have a D or an F in my class, again, I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, it's too late, I can't do anything. If you're doing if you get this essay done, most of the brief writes we're supposed to help you with the essay. So if you get this essay done, you can easily get these brief writes done because a lot of the brief writes will be very similar. I would just be very strategic about how you did it. So if you do Metamorphosis, Harrison Bergeron, and End of Clay as 3 of your 4 stories that you have to use, those are your brief writes right there. So just again, you might have to make a couple. You'll need to make some modifications to the paragraph, like the topic sentence and the last sentence. But overall, you'll be good. So just please get your brief writes turned in. That's going to have the biggest impact on your grade. So, like I said, if you guys need anything, just let me know tonight, and I will hopefully be able to help you out. Your final drafts of your essays, which are worth 100 points, are going to be due tonight. But first, we are going to take a podcast quiz. So on Canvas, sorry, I have too many windows open right now. All right, scroll on down till we get to this week. All right, so episode 7 quiz. All right, and as always, I'm giving you, technically you have 30 minutes to do this. Obviously, it'd be better if we didn't take that long to do, but you guys have 30 minutes technically to finish this. Afterwards, we will be talking about what needs to be done to your final drafts. You technically can be listening to it as you are doing this. Again, I don't really believe in closed book tests. Just because most tests you do in life, you'll be able to, look at your resources, in my opinion. But so you can technically listen to it as you guys are taking this quiz, but please listen to it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. Now that we are pretty much done, Desi, I know you just showed up, but you were going to have to take a quiz later. So please just do that later today. It's on the podcast, the episode 7 podcast, the one with my wife. So make sure you take that sometime today, okay? All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen again. And we're going to talk about the, if I could find my words. We're going to talk about our final drafts. So now that you guys have taken the podcast quiz, we are going to start talking about what you guys need to do. So first of all, late work is due tomorrow by midnight. So I'm giving you guys till midnight, but only for these assignments. You can't redo every assignment like you could last week, basically. These are the ones that are worth most amount of points anyway. So if you guys do all of these, there's really no reason why you shouldn't get a C or better in this class. If you get all these assignments done, and I don't care like what grade you could be like at a 20%. If you do the essay, you do these things, you should get a passing grade in here. Okay. Again, I'm normally not this nice about late work, but again, we're also not usually in a pandemic, so I try to, be a little bit more flexible right now. But anyways, so brief writes, podcasts, annotations, magic realism story, bio narrative. Do some to get as much done as you can today, get as much done as you can tomorrow, get it turned in by midnight, because after that, it's just, I won't accept it anymore. But again, I want you guys to get good grades, so please do that, okay? All right, let's talk final drafts. Final drafts are due tonight by midnight. So the biggest question I've got so far is about formatting. So even though this isn't going to be like a big part of your grade, it's very small. It's still good for you to know because you need to learn how to, format your papers for when you guys are turning stuff in to me, to your junior teachers, seniors. When you guys get to jobs, you'll have to learn how to fill out paperwork a certain way that like your business, your company, whatever, wherever you work, however they want it, you have to do things as you have to format things a different way. So it's again, just good habit to get in. So the heading in the top left is going to contain your first and last name, the due date, Williams, my name, and then the course name, World Lit. So each one of these is separated by a comma here, but it'll be on a separate line. So make sure that you guys are doing that. The page header is a little different. So if you're on your iPad and you go to Google Docs, you're going to click on where it says insert and then page number. So insert page number, you're going to click on the one where it puts the page number in the top right. Then you're going to type your name before the page number. So it'll say like, I'll use Armando's, for example. So it'll say like Perez 1 on page 1 and then Perez 2 on page 2. So That's what it's basically going to be. So insert your page. So go to insert page number, select the top right, and type your last name before the page number. So that way your last name and the page number on every page. Okay. So that's the page header. Make sure that it is double spaced. So you want to double space it. So do not double space by hitting enter twice. That really screws things up if you have to make changes. Just go to, when you go to formatting, you go to line spacing, and then you go to 2.0. Okay, so just double space it. If you're on a computer, you can press tab and that'll automatically indent your paragraphs, or 5 spaces on the pad. The only thing that should be centered, everything else should be what they call left justified. So where everything is to the left. Okay, so don't center the entire essay. Okay, like I said, that's only going to be like maybe 2 to 3%, 5%, I guess, tops of your grade. So it's not that big of a deal, but it's still good to know. It's still something that I'll look at. This is where you're like, I would say probably 50% of your grade is going to come from is the body paragraphs. So basically they're just brief writes, just multiple brief writes. So you need to have topic sentences for each one. So in your topic sentences, you need to be discussing what character changed, from what story, and who was the author. So make sure that you're including those 3 things in there. What character changed, what does what from what story, and who wrote the story. Okay, and then the rest of the paragraph is you showing how that character changed. You should give me 1 to 2 sentences summarize story. Just one, I would say even just 1 sentence is fine. Evidence, introduce what's happening in the quote. Never start an evidence sentence with just a quote. It should be something like, while Rolf Carlet was talking to Azucena, she said, comma, and then the quote. Explain what the quote shows. So what does it say about the character? How does it show it? What specific words within that quote kind of like make you like realize this new like fact about this character, or show like how does it show what they were like? And then why is it important? Like, why is Rolf Carlet being an emotionally closed off person important, especially compared to how he becomes later? Transition between the quotes. So after your first explanation, you should say, while this was how Rolf Carlet was at the beginning, he changes once Azucena dies. And then you go into your next quote after that. And then at the end of the paragraph, you're going to transition from the story you're talking about to the next story. So again, while Rolf Carlet changed because of a little girl's death, we see how in Metamorphosis, Gregor Samsa's family changed because of his inability to work. That's a transition. Again, it's not a lot of like complex thinking. It's just like, how can I show similarities or differences between what I'm talking about now and what I'm about to talk about? So that's something that you always want to do. Again, you want to put those street signs in your essay so that the reader doesn't go careening off the road. So that's what they basically are. Transitions are like the street signs for your essays. Any questions? So if I go too fast, or if you're still confused about something, stop me. Tell me that it's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like if I'm confusing you about transitions, about the explanation, just let me know. Or if you needed me to go back a slide, just let me know that too. All right, so we are going to move on to introductions and conclusions. The introductions and conclusions need to fit one of the 5 strategies. So for the introduction, you have inverted triangle, where you start off with a really broad topic and get more specific. So in this case, our topic would be transformation. So make a statement about transformation. What about transformation? Where are we seeing transformation in the stories? And then how do the characters change because of conflict? Okay, so that would be inverted triangle. Paradoxical is where you see how one thing is true, but there's something else that seems like it's contradictory that can also be true. Like I said, that one's pretty complex, takes a lot of critical thinking. We could work on that one next semester more, but I would probably steer away from that unless you feel very confident in your ability to do it. Interrogative, if you're doing the question one, make a statement and ask 4 questions that are going to be answered. So like for Rolf Carlet, like you would say like, Have you ever met someone who used to be closed off but then later changed? Have you ever met a family that was only like interested in how much money their children could make? Stuff like that. So you want to have a question for each body paragraph that you're going to be discussing. Every introduction, though, should end with a thesis statement. So in this essay, we will discuss how the characters from these four stories um, change due to conflict. Okay, so that's the end of your introduction for no matter which introduction you do. And then finally, the conclusion strategy: echo the intro, pose a question, conclude with a quote, challenge the reader, look to the future. If you did an interrogative, you cannot do pose a question. Do not start and end your essay with questions, or else it looks like you have no idea what you're talking about. So you want to make sure that you are choosing one of these 5 strategies. If you need more explanation of the strategies, again, you can watch one of the previous videos I did about intros and conclusions. You can also look at the slides if you just need to look at the slides and don't really need the explanation. If you just need to look at the examples, that's totally fine. And then finally, the expectations for final draft is that you need to change at least 10% of your rough draft. So adding sentences, existing sentences, or delete unnecessary. Most people follow fit under the add or change. A lot of explanations that I've seen are pretty good. Most of the explanations I've seen have been showing me what the quote shows, but they haven't been explaining how the quote shows it. So like, for example, again, if I keep going back to Rolf Carlet, but him hiding behind the camera, how does that show that he was an emotionally closed off person? He used the camera as a barrier to prevent other people from getting close to him, act distance between himself and other people by using this camera. So you can do that. I've known professional photographers who are like that in real life. You can make a comparison of real life to people you know too. That's always nice to have a little bit of an analogy in there. But as the disgruntled version of me is looking at the computer in the Bitmoji there, can I help you?